of the most succulent, delectable, flavorful, melt in your mouth tender, and unfortunately one of the most expensive cuts of beef is the filet mignon, cut from the lean and flavorful tenderloin. Now what you are looking at on the screen right there is today's special value from Kansas City Steaks. They're also cut from the same beef tenderloin, but we are doing for you the medallions and the tips. The typical filet mignon are the center cut pieces, and the medallions and the tips, what you're looking at on the screen right now, are cut from that same tenderloin, but just from the ends. So we are talking about 5 pounds of filet mignon, quality filet mignon, wet aged 28 days filet mignon. Now, here is what you are getting. 16 2-ounce pieces plus 3 pounds of the tips. All of that is a $159 value. If you break that up, that is what it would cost right now, more or less, on the market, which is true. It's around $32 a pound, even a little bit more than that. We, right now, are doing it for you at a value that is beyond belief. $99.98 for 5 pounds of filet mignon. And that, roughly, is around $19.99 a pound. You know that right now, beef, just like everything else, is getting more and more and more expensive. Today's the day to lock this price in, lock in this quality from Kansas City Steaks that have been around, and they have been supplying quality meat to high-end restaurants in the country since 1932, and now also supplying and delivering it straight to your door. You could also lock in this great savings and get it on auto delivery and receive it every 90 days for a year. This will be the lowest price that you're going to see it for at least the next 3 months, and this is how it comes to you: vacuum packed, frozen in these packages that you're going to be able to nestle into your freezer and have quality filet mignon at your fingertips for you and your family to enjoy for any special occasion, but also for any random Tuesday as well. Why not? Let's do it, and let's do it the right way. Last night, I think I heard Julia say filet all day or filet every day. Rosé all day and filet every day. How about that, Mr. Ralph?
How are you, everybody? You can't have filet every day because this is approachable. This is something that we want to empower you. We want you to have the ability to cook filet mignon because that could be intimidating, but not this. These are only 2 ounce. We'll start with the medallions. This is something that cooks fast, but it's filet mignon cut from the tenderloin. So the tenderloin is where the filet mignon comes from. The filet mignon is the cut of meat. So for example, on the board, we'll consider these as baby filet mignons, 2 ounces, just like that. I'm going to give you a nice piece of that right over there, right? Look at that.
Beautiful.
So we see here, these are 2 ounces, Rosina. And you know what's great about these is that if you're counting calories or points, you know exactly what you're getting. Not to mention, here's what I like to do. So for example, if you want a petite filet, a 4-ounce petite filet, look at that. You just take 2 of these and you're ready to go. If you want a 6-ounce filet, there you go.
Center of the plate. Now, a typical filet mignon dinner is around 8 ounces, right?
6 to 8, yeah.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
And it'll run you anywhere from $50 to $60 for one dinner at a steakhouse, at a restaurant. Now you're able to create that same experience, that luxury experience at home for yourself or for your family, but you decide how you want your portion to be.
That's right. I love these on salad, center of the plate. I mean, this is like that go-to. So a lot of people say, well, where does this come from?
I love this illustration right here.
Okay, here we go. So this is the tenderloin, like I just talked about, where we get the filet mignon. This is filet mignon. So for example, this is where we would cut those 8-ounce center cut, extremely expensive filet mignons. Why are they expensive? Because there's not a lot of it on the cattle. But right next door, as it slightly tapers, is where we get these 2-ounce medallions. Perfect 2 ounces. And then if we go over here, this is the tail of the tenderloin. and where we get the tips. Because if you notice, this dramatically tapers down. That's just the way it is. But for the longest time, we've harvested these tips, and they're so versatile.
Right.
They're so fun to play with. You could do so many things that we're going to talk about. So that's where it comes from. Tenderloin, filet mignon, the same thing.
All the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
That same buttery, soft, tender, melt in your mouth, that beef flavor.
Yep.
There's a reason why they call the filet the king of all steaks,
Yes,
right?
yep.
But there's no need to have to pay $50 or for example, $32 a pound for those center cut pieces. For example, now you have the 2 ounces, which is even better because now you're able to really customize your experience.
That's right. So what I'm doing is I'm going to multitask here, right? So I just made a nice salad. I literally took, now that's a family style type of salad. So let's put another one on there. So now we have 6 of those 2-ounce filet mignons, and I would say that is good for at least 2 people.
Yep.
They come home from the gym and they're feeling good. They want to get that protein in, but at the same time they want to keep it lean. There you go. Air fryer, oven, super simple, flat top, Blackstone, you name it.
From thawed, how do we prepare it?
Okay, I'm going to show you. So let me just show you center of the plate. Now, this is so great. Let's just say you're by yourself, and you just want a 4-ounce filet mignon.
Huh.
You could cook these much quicker than if you had a 4-ounce whole filet mignon. Because
Right.
a lot of people, what they do, they'll actually butterfly that filet mignon, and because it cooks quicker.
Yes, but you shouldn't want to do that.
Because then you start to dry it out. In this case, these are 1/2-inch thick, so they're going to retain that juiciness. So there you go. There's your beautiful, maybe a little veg on here, and you're ready to go.
Veg, hold on a second. Don't take that away from
Okay.
me because let's shoot that again. By the way, these are one of the best potatoes that I have ever in my life had, and they are available. Right now, I'm going to tell you the item number if you want them, the twice baked potato, M83370. They're beyond deliciously good, and I'm going to eat that with my filet. Thank you very much.
You do that. I'm going to make
You
one
do
more
that.
cut, and then let's talk about tips.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
So again, look at that. Isn't it? That potato great?
It is the best. Best.
Okay, so you asked me how do you cook these? So they're gonna arrive frozen. You wanna, ideally overnight, you wanna thaw these out in the refrigerator. Once they're thawed out, bring them to room temperature. What you're gonna do is dry them really well. Because you wanna rid them of any moisture so that we can get that sear on them. Then coat it your favorite oil, put them in the air fryer, put them in a saute pan, and literally 2 or 3 minutes on each side. That's it, let them rest. They're gonna come up in temperature and be a perfect medium rare.
On the grill, like you said, Blackstone too,
Yeah.
the flat top or any grill too.
Yeah, and before I go to the tips, you get 4 of these per package. It's the equivalent to an 8-ounce filet mignon. There's 4 2-ounce medallions here. This is a 8-ounce center cut filet mignon.
It's amazing.
It's great, right?
That's exactly what you would pay $60 for at a restaurant. And we're getting 4 of these because we're getting 2 of these because we're getting 16 pieces. All right, I'm following you this way. We're going to the tips.
Oh, the tips. Okay, so the tips. We love the tips because this is our most versatile product that we have. Something that you could do so many things with, whether it's shish kebabs,
Yes.
or chili, or stew, which we're going to talk about in a second. So what's different about the tips than the medallions? They're different sizes. You're never going to get the same size as you can see on my board.
They're irregular.
They're irregular, yes. But they're still filet mignon cut from the tenderloin. And look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. That is
Yes.
one of the tips.
That's gorgeous.
And each package, each pound is about 15 to 16 tips. Now,
And we're getting 3 pounds of the tips that, again, you could also eat center of the plate if you like. Why not?
Yeah, you know, it's like one of those things where you just like grab a few. Like, I love eating family style. I think it's just being Italian. And I love the fact that I just put these on like a big plate. Little bed of arugula, maybe some Parmesan Reggiano, a little olive oil. And people just take 1 or 2 of these tips and they get that filet mignon fix.
Yes.
That's what it's all about, because if you love filet mignon, you don't care how you eat it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you don't
it's
care.
about the experience.
Yes, you just want the experience.
Yeah.
Because filet mignon by itself is not attainable for a lot of people.
Oh, of course
We made this offer for you to be attainable and have fun with it.
Exactly.
So, what can you do with these? Did you have a question?
Actually, no.
okay.
I'm just.
I didn't want to cut you off.
No.
So people say, well, what can I do with these?
Yep.
For example, stew. Now, normally, people use inexpensive cuts of meat for stew. Unfortunately, when you use those tougher cuts of meat, your stew will take you at least 3 to 4 hours, maybe an hour and a half in a pressure cooker. In this case, you can make stew in less than 30 minutes.
Because it's already tender.
It's already tender. There's nothing to do other than make your sauce and your vegetables. So there's your stew. How about bolognese sauce? People love bolognese sauce, right? How about take your KitchenAid, put about 3 or 4 of these in at a time, and literally pulse,
wow, that would be the best bolognese ever.
And then you get this beautiful bolognese sauce made from filet mignon. And again, if you're someone who entertains and likes to wow people, this is your thing.
Because the thing is that to hear you even say that, it's like, are you cuckoo bananas, right?
Yeah,
like, are you nuts that I am going, but you can do that with this value, with this price, and you can give yourself that luxury of having probably one of the most luxurious sauces that you will ever make in your life to make a bolognese with filet mignon.
Oh my God. So let's talk about the filet tips and how they come and the sizes. So on my cutting board, I have 3, or I'm gonna give you a 4. Just to you to give an idea, see? This is about maybe an ounce or half. Same, ounce and a half, ounce. They're all different, all filet, and again, they're already cut up for you.
Right.
So if you're making your shish kebabs or you're making a sandwich or you're putting on a salad, there's no cutting required.
Correct.
Which is great because we know our foodie friends out there, sometimes they're just not comfortable in the kitchen, but they still want to eat good.
But you're also not drying it out more, right? Because
That's
if you do take a big piece of filet and then you cut it, you're going to dry it out. All the juices are going to run out. These cook so quickly, and I can attest to that because I've been cooking these at home just in a saute pan, and it's been working incredibly well. We're all eating it and enjoying it. We get 3 pounds of the tips. What are you going to make? What's that, broccoli rabe?
A little broccoli rabe. We'll make a steak sandwich, right? This is fun.
Okay.
Where's my...
Okay, so by the way, you're going to choose your ship date. If you want it right now, immediately, we will send it to you immediately. Also, April 21st or May 5th. And then no matter what, you can put this on auto delivery and lock in the savings and receive it every 90 days for 1 year.
There you go. It's the weekend. You want a steak sandwich. You go to your freezer. You quick defrost in cold water, 30, 40 minutes. And then you hit that pan and make a sandwich. I mean,
it's beyond
great.
belief to say that you're going to have filet mignon quality, because then there's also different qualities. Kansas City Steak Company is known for the quality in your freezer. So whenever you want, because you never know if you're like, I'm going to make a nice filet dinner for my family tonight, and you go to the grocery store, even to the not expensive grocery stores, the amount of money that you are going to spend on that. Right now, you know what you're getting. You're getting 5 pounds of this beautiful tenderloin, the same tenderloin that we use to cut the center 8-ounce medallions, and you get this. Because I'm over there working, and these two are
You get
playing.
this. You get that right there.
I've just been over here like eating, just like,
We're just kind of having fun a little bit this morning, right?
They're so good. The size is perfection. This is like my mom's preference of a filet mignon size. These medallions, because it's not too big or overwhelming, perfectly cooked, and you've got all that goodness all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still filet mignon, Steve. It's cut from the tenderloin. The tenderloin is that piece that we're going to talk about in a second. The filet mignon is just the cut, okay? And I want you to see these. These are like baby filet mignons cut from the tenderloin. It's that simple. It's filet mignon. But,
it's amazing.
And look at how, I love how this is about a ½ thick. See that? And like Rosina said, it just hits a pan because it's so lean, and it's just gonna cook really, really fast. And look how, let's just see, these are 2 ounces, Steve. So if you put 2 of these together, you have yourself a petite filet.
Great.
Ralph.
Yes.
I want to know. Let's explain to everybody at home, because if anybody at home doesn't know, what is the whole entire magic of filet mignon? Why does everybody say, oh, filet? Why? What is it all about?
Well, there's a couple things. Number one is it's tender. It's the most tender cut of beef on the cattle.
Right.
It's the most prized possession on the cattle because there's not a lot of it.
Okay.
So what happens over the years, it becomes so expensive because it's just not a lot of it. And for a lot of people, like my wife, they want no fat on their steak. Nope. 0. But they also like steak and the protein and how it goes well with a lot